You feel it, don't you? Time slipping through your fingers, the years moving faster. That feeling that childhood was just yesterday, and yet you are already feeling the weight of responsibilities, of memories, of expectations. This is the first truth. Time, as we know it, is an illusion. Western thought teaches us that time is linear. We are born, we grow, we die. A straight line from A to B, but in Indian philosophy, what we call Santana Dharma, or the eternal way time, is not a line. It is a circle, a dance, a cycle, a spiral of consciousness dot, and within that spiral, we are not merely travelers. We are the creators of our own rhythm. Today, I invite you to explore the ancient Indian perspective on time, ego, suffering, and truth. Not through heavy books or rituals, but through simple insight. Through remembering what your soul already knows. Part 1. Childhood, Aging, and the Illusion of Time. Think back to your childhood. Do you remember how long a year felt? The space between two birthdays felt eternal. A school year felt like a lifetime. But now years pass in a flash. A decade feels like a blink. Why? Because time is not objective. It is psychological dot in childhood. We experience time expansively. Every new event stretches us, expands our perception. But as we grow older and routine sets in, time compresses. This is the key to understanding time. It's not out there on a clock or in a calendar. It is in here. Santana Dharma teaches that time flows in accordance with consciousness. When we are present, aware, in love, time expands. When we are anxious, disconnected, in pain, time shrinks. In the ancient Rig Veda, time is described through the metaphor of Ashwa, the horse. But Ashwa doesn't mean tomorrow. It means no tomorrow. The horse races in all directions, beyond space, beyond causality, beyond the mind's grasp, but in the highest reality. There is no past or future. There is only now. Part 2, the 3 states of consciousness. We all live in 3 states every day. Waking, where we think we live. Dreaming. A world just as real while we sleep. Deep sleep, where nothing exists. And yet we wake up rested. These are called Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti in Vedantic thought. Dot and beyond all 3 is a 4th state. Turkya. Turkya is not a place. It's a witnessing consciousness. It is the state where you observe all experiences, joy and sorrow, success and failure with neutrality, compassion, and peace. This is the goal of spiritual practice, to reach Turkya, to remain untouched by life's ups and downs, to play your role fully and yet not be defined by it. Part 3, Identity, Ego, and Maya. So who are you really? You say, I am this body. I am this face. I am this profession. I am someone's child, partner, friend. But all of these identities are temporary. They change. And anything that changes, Indian philosophy says, is not real. Only that which never changes is real. Everything else is Maya. Not a lie, but a projection. A dream within a dream. The ego clings to names and forms. This is my glass. This is my house. This is my reputation. But the glass will break. The house will crumble. The reputation will fade. Santana Dharma teaches that the ego is the source of suffering, not because ego is bad, but because it is false. Your real nature is not the changing roles you play. Your real nature is the I behind it all, the witness, the observer, the consciousness. That's why the rishis say, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not even the intellect. I am that. Part 4. Karma, Dharma, and Prasthabhuti. If everything is by, does that mean we shouldn't care? Should we give up on ambition, on work, on trying? No, that would be spiritual bypassing. A trap. Indian philosophy is not about renouncing life. It's about living rightly, with awareness, with humility. With Dharma, God Dharma means your natural duty, your soul's responsibility. And karma means action. Every action leaves an imprint, good or bad, depending on the intention behind it. And this is where Prasthabhuti comes in. A concept from the Bhagavad Gita. It means Whatever comes to me, I accept as divine offering. Life is not always fair. But when you stop resisting it, when you take everything success and failure as prasta, your suffering dissolves, you become free, not by escaping the world, but by accepting it as it is. Part 5, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, the three. Forces of mind. In Indian psychology, the mind is not random. It is governed by three gunas or qualities: sattva, clarity; peace, balance; rajas, activity, ambition; restlessness, tamas, inertia, laziness, confusion. We all move through these states. A restless day, rajas; a depressive slump, tamas; a moment of calm awareness, sattva. Spiritual practice is about increasing sattva. Not to escape the other two, but to bring balance. Even sattva, however, is a golden chain. True freedom comes when you go beyond all three into Turkey. How? By becoming a witness, by doing without clinging, acting without ego, serving without seeking reward. Part 6, To the Youth, a map for modern spirituality. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you may feel lost, torn between ambition and burnout, love and loneliness, meaning and materialism. Here's a map, ancient but timeless. Be kind. This is the first dharma. Be humble. Don't think you are the doer. Let life move through you. Don't do your best. At work. In relationships with your family. Karma yoga is not laziness. It is full engagement, minus the attachment. Study. Read spiritual texts. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Read about yoga, Vedanta, or the lives of mystics. Study your self-doubt. Practice. Start with 20 minutes of quiet. Chant. Breathe. Sit. Still. Let go. Stop clinging. Not because you don't care, but because you trust. Trust the divine intelligence behind your life. Avoid escapism. Running away to the mountains isn't the answer. Face your reality and practice within it. Your sadness, your fear, your longing, they are not your enemies. They are your teachers. Part 7, Travel, Nature, and Sacred Spaces. India is a land of sacred geography. The Himalayas, the rivers, the temples, they are not just locations. They are living energies. Spiritual evolution can be accelerated by pilgrimage, but not as a tourist. As a seeker. Walk, observe, listen, be alone, be open. Whether it's Rishikesh, Kedarnath, or Banaras, go where your soul is called. But don't go for Instagram pictures. Go for experience. Nature has a way of breaking the ego, of showing you how small you are and how loved you are. Part 8, Loneliness, FOMO, and the digital age. Today's world is loud. We are surrounded by screens, images, highlight reels of other people's lives. And somewhere, quietly, we begin to feel inadequate. This is FOMO, fear of missing out. But what are we really missing? Connection. That we are lonely not because we lack people, but because we've lost ourselves. We've forgotten how to sit with silence. The solution is not more validation. It's inner validation. The Bhagavad Gita begins with sorrow. Arjuna breaks down in the battlefield. And Krishna doesn't tell him to be strong. He tells him to understand himself. So let your sorrow take you inward. Let it soften you. Let it bring you back home. Part 9. Aging, Death, and Liberation. We are all aging. That is the one thing no one escapes. The body wears out. The face changes. Loved ones leave. The hair grays. But if you look closely, your inner witness remains unchanged. That same presence that watched cartoons as a child is watching this now. That is the self-doubt in Indian thought. The body is a vehicle. Death is not an end. It's a change of clothes. What carries forward is not your job title or your bank balance, but your inner growth. The point of life is not to avoid death. It's to live in a way that when death comes, you are not afraid. Part 3, Identity, Ego, and Maya. So who are you really? You say, I am this body. I am this face. I am this profession. I am someone's child, partner, friend. But all of these identities are temporary. They change, And anything that changes, Indian philosophy says, is not real. Only that which never changes is real. Everything else is by the grand illusion, not a lie, but a projection. A dream within a dream. The ego clings to names and forms. This is my class. This is my house. This is my reputation. But the glass will break. The house will crumble. The reputation will fade. Santana Dharma teaches that the ego is the source of suffering, not because ego is bad, but because it is false. Your real nature is not the changing roles you play. Your real nature is the I behind it all, the witness, the observer, the consciousness. That's why the rishis say, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not even the intellect. I am that. Santana Dharma does not ask you to believe. It asks you to experience, to test for yourself, to walk the path and see that time is a concept. Ego is an illusion. Pain is a teacher. Love is your nature. And the I that observes it all, that is your true self. In the end, there is nothing to achieve, only something to remember. And the most sacred remembrance is this. You are already that which you seek. You are not the waves. You are the ocean. Part 10, W. Why do we suffer? Let's pause and ask something fundamental. Why do we suffer? Not in the philosophical sense, but in the everyday sense. Why do we carry anxiety, jealousy, grief, guilt, and regret? Indian philosophy does not shame suffering. It doesn't say ignore your pain or always be positive. Instead, it asks, what is your relationship with suffering? Pain in Santana Dharma is a signal. It means something is out of alignment, that you've attached to what is impermanent, that your expectations are clashing with reality. The scriptures say the root of all sorrow is attachment. And what are we most attached to? Control, results, approval, identity. We want the world to move according to our plan, our timeline, our dream. But the world dances to another rhythm, the rhythm of karma, of cosmic intelligence, of divine will. When we resist this flow, we suffer. When we surrender, we heal. Part 11, the death of the ego. This is why the ego must die, not the physical ego. But the false I that thinks, I am the doer. I am the achiever. I am the sufferer. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, slay this enemy called desire, born of Rajas. He's not saying don't desire. He's saying don't let your identity depend on what you desire. Desire will arise, but don't serve it like a master. Be a witness. Let it come. Let it go. Like clouds passing through the sky. So what is left when the ego dissolves? What remains is the true self-Atman, the witness that watches your joy and pain, your past and your future. The self is not emotional. It's not dramatic. It's not reactive. It is silent, steady, unchanging. It is who you were before you were born, and who you will be long after the body drops. Part 12, the practice of silence. You don't need a temple to find peace. You don't need a mantra or beads or incense. You need silence and your breath and a willingness to sit with yourself without distraction. Try this. Sit for 20 minutes. No music. No phone. Close your eyes. Watch your breath. Watch your thoughts. The mind will scream. It will resist. But slowly, a space will open. And in that space, you will meet yourself. The ancient sages called this not meditation in the modern stress relief sense, but the art of deep self-inquiry, of sitting at the doorway between the mind and the soul, and from that space, all answers come. Part 13, sacrifice and service living for others. In today's world, we are trained to ask, what do I get? But the great souls ask, how can I serve? Indian philosophy is not individualistic. It teaches that the highest joy comes not from achieving, but from giving. Yajna, the sacred offering, is not just a fire ritual. It's a way of life. You offer your actions, your thoughts, your energy. A life of offering is a life of meaning. Whether you're making Tea for your family, creating a business, or cleaning your room, do it with devotion. Offer it to the divine. That shift from I do this for me to I do this for service will change your entire vibration. It will open doors that force and hustle could never open. Part 14. The spiritual battlefield. The Mahabharata is not just a myth, it's your life. It's your mind. The battlefield of Kurukshetra is the battlefield of your daily decisions. The chariot is your body. The horses are your senses. The reins are your mind. The charioteer is your higher self. When Arjuna broke down before the war, Krishna didn't shame him. He guided him. He explained Dharma, his duty, his nature, his deeper path. Every day, you too must pick up your bow. Even if you're tired. Even if you're confused. Even if your enemy is within your own thoughts. Victory in Santana Dharma is not about conquering the world. It's about conquering yourself. Part 15. Love without clinging. Most of us confuse love with attachment. We say, I love you, but we really mean, I need you to be a certain way so I feel safe. True love is freedom. It's not possessive. It doesn't grasp whether it's romantic, parental, or spiritual. Real love flows without expectation. It gives without needing to receive. It blesses even when it is not blessed in return. How is this possible? Because love is not something you do. It is something you are at your core. You are love. You are the field from which all connection arises. And when you stop needing to be filled by others, you begin to overflow. That overflow becomes compassion. And that compassion becomes God. Part 16, satsang, and the 2 wings of evolution. 2 things elevate a soul faster than anything else. Satsang. Keeping company with those who inspire truth. Sadhana, daily practice of presence and devotion. Satsang means being around people who remind you of who you really are. Not those who feed your ego, but those who challenge your shadows with love. Sadhana means giving time each day to your inner life. It can be meditation, chanting, prayer, self-study, anything that brings you back home. Without satsang, we get lost. Without sadhana, we get stuck. But with both, we rise. Not through ambition, but through grace. Part 17. The dance of time. From Makala to moksha, time can be a burden, or a teacher, or a doorway. In India, time is personified as Makala, the great time, the lord of all transitions. Makala is Shiva, not just the destroyer of forms, but the liberator of illusions. He is death, but not in the way we fear. He is death of ego, death of falsehood, death of bondage. To meditate on Makala is to accept impermanence, to surrender your control, to see time not as your enemy, but as your ally, because time, when used wisely, does not take from you. It transforms you, and when time dissolves, what remains is moksha, freedom. Not freedom from the world, but freedom in the world. Part 18. What is moksha really? Moksha, liberation, is often misunderstood. It's not about escaping the world. Renouncing your family or sitting in a cave, it's not a mystical goal reserved for saints. Moksha means freedom from inner bondage. It means you no longer react compulsively. It means you live fully, love deeply, and act wisely without clinging to outcomes. It means you're rooted in your truth. Even as the world changes around you, the word moksha comes from the root mok, to release what? The false. The compulsive need to control the belief that you are separate from others, the lie that your worth depends on success or validation. Moksha doesn't come suddenly. It arrives gradually as you become more and more yourself. It's not a place you go. It's a state you remember. Part 19. Living with the divine in daily life. So how do we bring all of this into our day-to-day experience? It starts with awareness, not forced awareness, but relaxed presence. When you eat, eat with gratitude. When you speak, speak with kindness. When you walk, walk as if the earth is sacred beneath your feet. Let every moment become an offering. Let your breath become your prayer. Let your actions become your meditation. The divine is not far away. It is in your next choice, in your next moment of stillness. In your next act of patience or courage or generosity, there's no need to chase. God. God is already here, waiting for you to notice. Part 20. The foundation of everything. Be a good human. In all the complexity of spiritual talk, we must never forget the simplest truth. Be a good human being. That's it. Be honest. Be kind. Keep your word. Take responsibility. Listen more than you speak. Help someone without expecting a thank you. Stay humble, even when you're powerful. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. The greatest sign of spiritual evolution is not how many mantras you chant or how much scripture you know. It's how you make people feel. It's how you live when no one's watching. It's how soft your heart is in a hard world. Part 21. If you're in your 20s or 30s, this part is for you. The young soul navigating a loud, fast, anxious world. If you're 22 or 32 or 42 and you feel lost, don't worry. You are not supposed to have all the answers yet. This is the time to build your foundation. Here's your spiritual toolkit. Wake up early, even if it's just 30 minutes earlier. Don't sit in silence. 10 minutes every day. Read one sacred verse slowly. Each morning, take care of your body. Move, stretch, eat well, spend time in nature, keep good company. Choose people who uplift your spirit. Let go of one attachment at a time. Do one thing each day. Purely for others with no reward. Start and end your day with a simple mantra. I offer this life as a sacred gift. You don't need to be perfect. Just begin again and again. The divine will meet you halfway. Part 22. Closing. Return to the center. In the center of your chest, there is a space untouched by time. In the silence between two thoughts, there is a window into eternity. In the core of your being, there is a self that is never born and never dies. That is who you are. That is where all paths lead. That is the beginning and the end of every spiritual journey. You don't need to go to the mountains to find truth. You don't need to chant 10,000 mantras or read 1,000 books. You just need to sit still, breathe deeply, and listen to that quiet voice inside you. It's not loud. It doesn't argue, but it always speaks the truth. It says, you are loved. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are the sky, not the clouds. You are divine. You always have been. So walk gently, live consciously, and never forget, this moment is the doorway. Right here, right now. Your soul is calling. Outrow Spiritual CTA. If this message reached your heart, take a moment today, not tomorrow, to sit in stillness and just say thank you to time, to life, to your teachers, to your suffering, to your breath. And if you feel called to share this wisdom, do it. Not by preaching, but by living. God be the light. Not by shining for the world, but by remembering your own flame